Yo, what's good everybody? So we are back with another pre-market analysis. We're going to check out GBP CAD, but we're going to do this one last. So starting off, we're going to move everything on not ready yet. First pair, NZD USD. You can see how we are trending bullish, but I don't like how price is basically where we're at within price action. It's just really choppy and ugly. I would simply wait for like a deep retracement, then the next continuation breakout, establishing the breakout, waiting for the retest before we look for that continuation. So we can leave this one on not ready yet. Not really interested in this pair. GBP USD. You can see how price is bullish due to the breakout of these higher highs. Dropping towards the 4 hour. The 4 hour is just a little bit too choppy for my liking. It's a lot going on and I'm simply not interested. So I'm going to leave it alone and go to the next pair. USD CAD, you can see we have the continuation breakout towards the downside. We're waiting for price on the daily time frame to establish the pullback towards a recent breakout. Once the daily can tap back into this zone, this will be allowing the 4 hour to have the retest of this lower high structure point being here. If price does go and break these 4 hour lower highs, I simply walk away from this trade and go to the next best pair. But as long as price can have the pullback, show signs of rejection towards this daily area of interest and also being our 4 hour lower high, we can possibly see price get back underneath this zone treated as support. As you all can see, zooming out, looking towards the left, a well-respected area. So once price can break back below here, we simply wait for that shifter structure on the 15-minute time frame and possibly ride this trade towards the downside. But like I said, if something cleaner happens, we simply walk away from this pair. But it is a good looking pair, simply just waiting for the daily to have the retest. So we move it right there. Next we have CAD JPY. You can see how price were in this this bearish trend. We had the breakout due to these lows right here. Price went from bearish to then bullish due to the breakout of these highs. You can see we have our higher low, higher high. Price had the retracement, getting back underneath the zone, which is treated as resistance. But at the moment, you can see our price has broken back above. I simply want to see the daily time frame form some type of pullback. It can be a wick pullback, it can be one daily candlestick pullback, but get a pullback back down towards the zone, which will be allowing the 4 hour time frame to have the retest of the recent break of structure. So what I will be looking for is price to have that retest of the zone. Once we can have that, we wait for that 15-minute shift of structure to happen. Like you all know, price is going from bullish to bearish in order to get down here. Once we tap into, we wait for the shift. Once that shift happens, we find our entry like so, stops underneath, and then targeting those higher highs, right? So this is a good looking pair for this week for the continuation trend towards the upside. So we can put this on waiting on the daily. Next is Euro JPY. We recently just broke out of these highs. We can move this towards our new higher low being there. Broken out of these highs. It's not the strongest breakout, but we have broken out. I'm simply going to wait for the daily candlestick to form some type of pullback, not on this opening candle. On the opening candle, look for the continuation towards the upside and then look for the pullback, which will allow the 4 hour time frame to have the pullback towards the recent break of structure being here, this area of support / resistance. So as long as price can stay within this structure and we see something like this with the pullback, we can possibly look for the entry for the continuation back towards the upside. So simply have to wait on Euro JPY. So we can put this on waiting on the daily. AUD USD, not really interested. You can see we broke towards the upside, but it's a little choppy for my liking, so I'm gonna leave it be. Next we have GBP NZD, not really anything going on. We have broken back underneath this zone, which has been treated as support / resistance. Dropping towards the 4 hour, you can see how we are also in this beautiful downwards trend due to the breakout of these lows, where we have this area of support / resistance. As you all can see, resistance, support throughout, and then resistance. So price, it looked like it wants to have the retest of that zone and the continuation, but the 1 hour is just all over the place. And like you all know, if the daily has already performed that move, which we have performed a move all the way towards the downside, the 4 hour simply, I'm not really interested in this pair, truth be told. Yeah, truth be told, I'm not really interested in this pair. It does look good, but we have a better opportunity on CAD JPY. Like you can see, we have a clean break of structure towards the upside. We are above this area of interest. I am looking for price to tap back into this daily zone, which is in sync with the 4 hour break of structure, as you all can see. And this is just overall cleaner than GBP NZD, where we are breaking back below this zone, and the 4 hour, however, is just a few pips away from my original daily area of interest where I am looking to take this trade from. So just due to this gap, I'm not going to be interested. I would love for it to be more in sync, but since we are not, I'm simply going to walk away. Next, NZD JPY, nothing really going on. I'm going to wait for the breakout of either the upside or this downside. Same thing with USD JPY, nothing really going on. We have now performed the breakout on CHF JPY, so simply waiting for some type of deeper move towards the upside with the retracement or a break of structure of these lows. Euro NZD, we have nothing, waiting for the breakout, nothing, same thing, nothing. We are back below this zone where we have been treating it as resistance. The daily is respecting this, showing signs of rejection, and as well showing that bearish engulfing from the zone, which is good. 4 hour time frame is, 4 hour time frame is bullish. You can see how price is in this bullish trend. Some people might count this as structure, but I don't, so I see the 4 hour being bullish. Simply going to walk away, nothing really interesting. On Euro GBP, odd CAD, same thing, nothing really interesting going on. Euro NZD, excuse me, we are at our recent higher highs. We are showing rejection, and price looks like it has formed that bearish engulfing. 4 hour time frame, however, we are bullish. Until price breaks these 4 hour lows, I won't be interested in opportunities on this pair just because the 4 hours bullish, my daily's bullish, but we aren't really at my recent break of structure. We're already in the midst of this move, so I really don't have any idea on if price wants to continue or if price wants to reverse and go the opposite direction. So I'm not going to enter in no man's land. Sales do look good. Like I said, we are reaching our recent higher high, and price looks like it's slowing down momentum. We have recently formed a rejection while also forming that bearish engulfing. If I look at it from the weekly timestamp, it looks like we are forming this beautiful double top variation. In this up and coming week, we can look for price to form a bearish engulfing on the weekly candle. Like I said, on the 4 hour time frame, once it can establish this breaker structure, I will be more interested, because then we can see this area of interest of support slash resistance. You can see support, resistance, resistance, resistance throughout, support, resistance. We can see this area get treated as resistance. Once price breaks back below, we'll look for the retest and then the continuation. But until that happens, I'm not really interested. We're just going to simply be patient and see what happens. So Euro USD, we can actually put at the top of not ready yet, since we are close to being ready. Next, we have odd CHF, we have nothing. Odd NZD, we are bearish, as you all can see. Price has respected this recent lower high structure. We are now reaching this daily support zone where price treats it as support and has a beautiful continuation towards the opposite direction. So I do like how we are rejecting. I do like how price has rejected and possibly has formed this beautiful bullish engulfing. 4 hour time frame, however, is just a little bit too choppy for my liking. You can see how price was trending in this bearish trend. We have the switcher structure due to the break of this left head, right shoulder. Recently just broke out of this neckline, and now we're just waiting for price to form the retracement. As price forms that retracement, yes, the 1 hour is in sync with the 4 hour time frame, but I really have no clue on where I can see structure reject from. So I'm simply going to walk away and just wait for a better opportunity. Next, USD CHF. We don't have anything. NZD CAD, nothing. GBP AUD, we have nothing. No man's land, no man's land, and no man's land. So last pair, I did say we're going to talk about this. So GBP CAD, you can obviously see how we are still in this trade. Price is still, I believe, heading towards the downside due to the rejection that we found at these highs. We also see that price had the beautiful bearish variation pattern, which is good, showing us that we have a higher time frame confluence of selling pressure. 4 hour time frame, we talked about, we are still bearish. We have attempted to break below this zone. Price still does look like it wants to break below this zone. It's showing signs of rejection, which is good. And if price can just have that continuation while staying underneath here, we're good to go. Looking towards the left, this is an area of support slash resistance. So I do want to see price break below, treat this as resistance, and then have that continuation. The 1 hour is still in this beautiful bearish trend, as you all can see. We are still in sync. 30 minute, we are still in sync. And the 15 minute, I believe we are still in sync. So everything is still showing me signs of bearish momentum. I have no thoughts about closing this trade whatsoever. I do still see this trade continuing towards our targets whenever price opens for this week. So I'm still going to be holding. Daily time frame, like we said, looks great. The weekly time frame, we still form that beautiful, let me take these away. We form this beautiful double top variation while also forming this bearish engulfing candle. Now we can possibly look for price to have that continuation, because this previous week we formed the wick pullback, which allowed the daily 4 hour and the 1 hour to have that retracement back towards the entry zone. And now we can expect this week's candle to continue this bearish move. So like I said, still got to be patient, see what happens when price opens, but I still see price continuing in our direction. Right now, our top 3 pairs for the beginning of the week is CAD JPY, USD CAD, and Euro JPY. CAD JPY, we're simply waiting for the pullback on the daily time frame. As you can see, we broke back above this recent area of resistance. We want to see the pullback treated as support, allowing the 4 hour to have the retest of the recent break of structure. Wait for the shift of structure on the lower time frame and ride this trade back towards our highs at 106.254. USD CAD, we are looking for sales. Simply have to wait for price on the daily to form the retracement back towards this break of structure. Once we tap back into, drop towards a 4 hour to identify if we have broken past this recent lower high structure. If we have not broken past this lower high structure, instead show signs of rejection, we simply wait for price to get back below this 4 hour structure point, wait for the shift of structure on the lower time frame, and ride this trade towards the downside. Last is Euro JPY, which you all can see we have recently performed the breakout, the continuation breakout towards the upside. I simply want to see price have a deeper move towards the upside, then establish the pullback, which one will establish the retest of the daily break of structure, and also have the 4 hour have the retest of the recent break of structure as well, due to the breakout of this area of resistance. Again, waiting for the shift of structure and then entering for buys. So top 3, CAD JPY, USD CAD, Euro JPY. Trade we're still in, GBP CAD, but my favorite trade for this week is CAD JPY for the continuation move towards the upside. So let's see what happens. Very, very, very good week ahead of us, and I'm excited to see how price continues to play out. So like always, I will update you all later, and I will show y'all what happens with the market. Deuces.